You may sit down. Welcome to Wellesley's Convocation, the formal start of our academic year. My name is Alex Diesel, College Marshal and Professor of Mathematics. If you would please rise to join the Wellesley College Choir, directed by Lisa Graham, for the singing of the alma mater. The words may be found in the digital convocation program. Thank you.
To alma mater, Wellesley's daughters, all together join and sing. Through all her wealth of wood and waters, let your happy voices ring. In every changing mood we love her towers and woods and lake. Oh, changeful sky bend blue above her. Wake, ye birds, your chorus wake. We'll sing her praises now and ever. Blessed fount of truth and love, our heart's devotion may it never faithless or unworthy prove. We'll give our lives and hopes to serve her, humblest, highest, noblest all. A stainless name we will preserve her, answer to her every call.
You may be seated. Welcome to Convocation. I'm the Dean of Religious and Spiritual Life, Jackie Marquez, and it is my privilege to offer today's invocation and Wellesley College's land acknowledgement. I invite everyone gathered to join in a brief moment of reflection and blessing, each in our own way, for the world, the Wellesley community, and ourselves. We are in the presence of our Creator, in the presence of our ancestors, and among friends. We gather to begin a new academic year and are especially grateful for new companions in this journey, our first-year students, the class of 2028. So, a moment of prayer. Sacred source of all that is good, beautiful, and true, we are grateful to be in community at this moment and for the loving reminder that we are not alone. We ask your presence to be with us as we walk into this new season, unsure of what lies ahead, yet trusting that you go before us. During this strange and unsettling time in our world, we ask that you remind us that we are still in your care. Guide us through moments when we may feel lost. Grant us patience with one another, and help us, students, staff, and faculty, to uplift each other as the weeks go by, united by our common humanity. We welcome your blessings upon our academic, professional, and personal endeavors. As we look toward a new year, may we embrace the opportunity before us to co-create a healthier, compassionate, caring, and more inclusive community in which we can all flourish. May our many religious, spiritual, and philosophical traditions remind us of the ancient wisdom you have entrusted us with to sustain us on this journey together. Amen. We continue our celebration with the reading of our Wellesley College land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that Wellesley College is built on ancestral and traditional land of the Massachusetts people. We also recognize that the United States removal, termination, and assimilation policies and practices resulted in the forced settlement of indigenous lands and the attempted erasure of indigenous cultures and languages. We further acknowledge the oppression, injustices, and discrimination that indigenous people have endured, and that there is much work to be done on the important journey to reconciliation. We commit to strengthen our understanding of the history and contemporary lives of Indigenous peoples, and to steward this land. We further recognize the many Indigenous people living here today, including the Massachusetts, Wampanoag, and Nipmuc nations, who have rich ancestral histories in Wellesley and its surrounding communities. Today, their descendants remind us that they are still here, where they maintain a vital and visible presence. We honor and respect the enduring relationship between these peoples and this land, as well as the strength of Indigenous culture and knowledge, the continued existence of tribal sovereignty, and the principle of tribal self-determination. It is now my pleasure to welcome Wellesley College President Paula A. Johnson.
Dean Marquez, thank you for those beautiful and very meaningful words. Many thanks also to Yanvalu. Where are you, Yanvalu? Many thanks. Yanvalu was co-founded in 1990 by Kira Washington, class of 93, and Professor, yes, there you go, Kira, and Professor Emeritus Gertis Florent, Wellesley's first professor of ethnomusicology. For the past 15 years, Yanvalu has led the procession for Convocation, a conscious choice on Wellesley's part to amplify the joy of the occasion. And Yanvalu, you continue to do it so beautifully. Thank you. And thank you to Lisa Graham and the choir for their beautiful rendition of Alma Mater, and to Shay Gardner, class of 25, who will lead America the Beautiful. So welcome to the start of Wellesley's 150th year. And of course, a special heartfelt welcome to the incoming bright red class of 2028. To our new Davis scholars, and to our new transfer students. We are so happy to have you with us. Welcome to our new faculty, to our new administrative and staff and union members, and to those of you who are returning. A big welcome back to our sophomores, our juniors, and especially our seniors. The class, the emerald green class of 2025, resplendent in your robes. You are the bearer of our traditions, and we look to you to help everyone new here find their way into our community. Indeed, Convocation holds special meaning as it signifies the renewal of each academic year. This moment at the beginning of every fall is filled with hope and the anticipation of new possibilities. You, our students, have probably felt this particular September moment of anticipation since kindergarten, or possibly even preschool. I imagine you can remember the excitement of something as simple as a new and unfilled notebook that symbolized the fresh slate of the year to come. There might have been a new haircut, new backpack, reminders of a fresh start. You were probably excited then for what you would discover, what you might have a chance to learn or relearn in ways that allowed you to see differently. There might be the joy of renewing friendships with classmates that you already knew, and there'd be the possibility of new friendships through chance conversation. Maybe you'd even thought over the summer about a new way of signaling your openness to a conversation. Even the former students among us, me, you, the faculty, the staff, and the administration, experience the same delectable sense of possibility every September. The chance to meet our first-year students is a chance for revelation. You refresh our community, and you remind us that in helping to educate all of you, we ourselves are constantly renewed. Every fall, all of us have a chance to redo, to correct old mistakes, and to discover new aspects of our own characters. I was delighted to see that in their application essays, our first years are well prepared to surprise themselves here. To borrow a thought from poet Walt Whitman, you all contain multitudes and contradictions. As people used to exceeding the world's expectations, you're probably going to exceed your own expectations here. Enjoy the adventure that is your own development. To our seniors, the new year brings the opportunity to think intentionally about how you'll spend the precious time that you have left at Wellesley. What new experiences are you determined to have before commencement? At this moment of renewal, there are ample reasons for optimism. Many of us have just watched Simone Biles sail through the air triumphantly. This was after the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, where she withdrew from competition because she couldn't find herself in space and realized she was at risk for severe injury. If she today has a telling tattoo on her clavicle, and it's a quote from Maya Angelou, "And still I rise." In Paris, she did rise, demonstrating not only her fundamental belief in herself, hard work, and courage, but also in the real grace in expressing profound respect for her competitors. She even bowed to Brazilian gymnast Rebecca Andrade, who bested, Brazil, who bested her in the floor exercise. So when we overcome obstacles, as Bile did, we are, in a sense, reborn. And whatever your political leanings, it's impossible not to delight in another soaring woman, the unprecedented presidential candidacy of Vice President Kamala Harris, a Black and South Asian woman, a daughter of immigrants. As the nominee of a major party, it is something to celebrate. This fall, our country will undergo the form of renewal represented by the opportunity to choose a new leader through a democratic process. To counter the violence we saw on January 6th of 2021, it's more important than ever that we exercise our right to vote in order to allow for the peaceful transfer of power. Democracy is demanding. Government of, by, and for the people requires the people's participation. On this campus, we fully understand the civic purpose of higher education, preparing all of you to renew our American democracy or to become an active citizen of whatever nation you call home. So we have joined forces with 76 other colleges and universities in an effort sponsored by the Institute for Citizens and Scholars, a civic education-focused foundation, to connect what students learn in the classroom with the greatest societal challenges around us. In such a politically polarized time, young people can sway the course of the future. So I implore all of you who are eligible to register to vote, to help other people register, whether here or in your home states, and to vote yourself. Voting is an expression of hope, and there's no progress without the hope that things can be better, that life can be freer and fairer in the future. This is what makes occasions such as this one so important. We celebrate a new day and the opportunity to think constructively about how we can make change. And as we commit to a renewal of our democracy, it's also a time for all of us to think about the type of institution we want Wellesley to be to meet the current moment. So many of you are passionately committed to worthy causes and profoundly pained by the suffering you and we see. While the pain has not gone away, this is a new year. I hope it brings with it the opportunity for all of us to have a conversation about the devastating and fraught situation in the Middle East, and a conversation characterized by mutual respect. How can we avoid targeting and excluding individuals due to their ideas or beliefs or backgrounds, whether they're Muslim, Arab, Palestinian, Jewish, Christian, Black, Latin, Indigenous, Asian, white, or any other ethnicity or group that exists on this beautifully diverse campus? How can we solicit the full range of perspectives from the people around us so we can learn something new from them? How do we make Wellesley the embodiment of such robust learning, both inside and outside of the classroom? How do we become a model community for joint explorations, open to new ideas that can sometimes be contradictory or challenging? It's never easy to replace fiercely held convictions with open-mindedness and empathy for the people who disagree with us. And it never has been easy throughout human history. But it is the path to progress and peace. So the commitment that I make to you, our students at this moment of renewal, is that as a community, we will work very hard to increase understanding all the way around. And of course, community is at its essence a collaborative effort. So I hope for your partnership in this effort to imbue patience and generosity into the ways that we relate to each other. We are an institution founded on the belief that educated women are a force for a better world. This remains true as it is today as it was 150 years ago. But it stays true because we are willing every September and in the months that follow to look at things anew. Because in truth, all of us have a ready source of inspiration and renewal in an emotion that we call awe. UC Berkeley psychologist Dr. Keltner defines awe as the feeling of being in the presence of something vast that transcends your current understanding of the world. In a state of awe, we forget about our narrow focus on ourselves in order to admire something truly outside of our own experience. And in the process, we become new to ourselves. We grow. Nature is a reliable source of awe. So to our first years, you are now on one of the most beautiful college campuses in the world. There's ample opportunity for wonder every day beside Lake Waban or beneath the canopies provided by ancient trees. But Dr. Keltner has found that the most reliable source of awe is in the moral beauty of other people. Every one of us at Wellesley is surrounded by remarkable people. More remarkable because they never forget that there's always something new to learn and discover and create. We are at a 150-year-old institution where the people who came before us were wise enough to spark traditions that both create a sense of awe and also remind us of the beauty of this community of learners and scholars and leaders in development. Today is one of those awe-inspiring days. To our newcomers, I'm glad you've joined us. To the first years, I promise there will be no lack of awe in your college experience. To our seniors, I truly look forward to hearing about how you will spend your final year at Wellesley. And to everyone returning, it is truly a joy to be with you again. So let's have a wonderful and wonder-filled year. Thank you. So it is now my great pleasure to introduce our new provost, Coile.
Thank you, President Johnson. Hello, everyone. It's just delightful to be with everyone on this celebratory and absolutely spectacular fall day. My name is Provost Coile. I am the college's provost, and it's truly an honor to be speaking to you today. Now, you may be wondering at this moment, what exactly is a provost? That's an excellent question, but since I've only been on the job for 2 months, I'm still figuring out the answer to myself. What I do know and what I want to share with you today is my personal story, how I was once a student like you, how I became a faculty member here, and what my experiences as a student and as a teacher have taught me about the value of a Wellesley education. So to start this tale, we're going to wind the clock all the way back to when I was in high school. I already by that time had developed a very deep interest in public policy, and my mom suggested that I join my high school's debate team. She was right. I was a natural for policy debate, a 2-on-2 event that focuses on a single policy question for the whole year. Now, my friend Amy and I were the rare all-female debate team. And I have to tell you, we sometimes felt that our gender did influence how other people saw us. Like an all-male team that forcefully rebutted arguments would be seen as assertive, whereas an all-female team would be seen as, well, a different word. One of our own teammates once told Amy that she lacked his intelligence but made up for it with hard work. At this point, I feel compelled to share with you that Amy ultimately graduated from Yale Law School, and today she's a federal prosecutor of sex criminals. She is quite the hard worker. The topic for our senior year of policy debate was resolved that the federal government should implement a comprehensive program to guarantee retirement security for United States citizens over age 65. Amy and I spent countless hours in the university library near our homes because, I hate to tell you, there was no internet back then. And our hard work, and maybe a little bit of intelligence, paid off with a successful year. So when I got to college, I enrolled in an introductory economics course. I took it because it was a popular course without any real understanding of what economics actually was. And this particular course featured lectures from all the different faculty members on the topics of their expertise. So one of those topics was Social Security. And I actually learned more from that 1-hour lecture than Amy and I had taught ourselves in an entire year in the library. That was a real aha moment for me. I thought, this must be the point of college. You can make these great leaps forward in your learning that you could never make on your own. And while that specific lecture was truly a powerful experience for me, what was really exciting about my freshman year was being exposed to the economist's way of thinking, like thinking about individuals as trying to make decisions in order to maximize their objectives subject to the constraints they faced. To me, this just seemed like a really powerful set of tools to analyze those public policy questions that had always interested me. But this was, importantly, only one of the new ways of thinking that I was being exposed to in my college courses. I took a philosophy course where I learned about the concept of the veil of ignorance, which is a concept introduced by John Rawls. He proposed that when we think about how we want society to operate, we should think about it as though we were ignorant of what our own position in society was going to be. I just found this to be a very powerful idea, and it still shapes how I think about the world. And I don't want you to think I was only a giant nerd. As much as I cared about policy, I had a lot of other interests as well. I loved reading, especially 19th century novels by 19th century authors like Jane Austen. I sang in my high school choir, shout out to the choir. So I was excited to take classes about music, and I was really interested in the environment, but there hadn't been any classes on that in my high school. So motivated by those kinds of interests and my college's distribution requirements, I took classes across the curriculum on topics like Shakespeare, the Bible, Bach, environmental literature, and environmental science. And each of those classes left an indelible imprint on me, developing my critical thinking skills, fostering my appreciation for artistic impression, and really feeding my intellectual curiosity. But I have to tell you, my college experience was not all smooth sailing. I had always liked math, so I signed up for multivariable calculus in my first semester. Yeah, it's not all good, people. When other students in the class expressed surprise that I was there, given that I wasn't planning to major in physics, I started to doubt whether I belonged in that class, and I eventually dropped it. And as much as I enjoyed my Econ 101 class, I wasn't really a top student. And that might have been the end of my economics journey right there, because there's actually scientific research showing that women are more sensitive to grades in their choice of college major than men are. But fortunately, I had a supportive professor who encouraged me to go on. So I went on, and in an economics course a few years later on social problems, we had a big project that we could work on during the winter break, and we could pick our own topic. So I went home, and I learned that the town next to mine had just introduced a new program. People who were shopping in convenience stores and other retail outlets could purchase coupons that they could give to an unhoused person, and that person could come back to the store and exchange it for food. So I decided that I should spend my entire winter break talking to as many unhoused people and convenience store customers and owners as I could, trying to understand what the effect of this new program was on the well-being of the unhoused. And while I truly had no business doing a project like this, given my complete lack of training in survey methodology, the creativity of my project impressed my professor. He invited me to be his research assistant, and after that experience, I decided I wanted to get a PhD in economics. Now, economics PhD programs expect applicants to have taken advanced math courses. So I re-enrolled in multivariable calculus, the course I had dropped my freshman year, and I did fine. Even so, and to be honest with you, I must have had some lingering insecurity about my math ability, because when it came time to do my graduate school applications, which I filled out on paper, because this was still pre-internet days, I filled one out for MIT, and then I tore it in half and I threw it in the trash. I did not mail it in. Why? I was so sure that MIT would not be interested in somebody like me who's not a math genius. I decided it was going to be better to work for 2 years and then reapply to graduate school, so I did that. And when I reapplied, I actually sent an application to MIT. I got in, and that's where I got my PhD. Anyone else wearing an ugly gray robe, you are a fellow proud MIT graduate. The robe color is not beautiful, but the rest of the experience was good. But seriously, it's a reminder that in the words of hockey great Wayne Gretzky, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So don't make that mistake. So to move the story along, I'll just tell you 2 quick things about graduate school, otherwise we'll never get out of here. There were many more highs and lows. I mean, truly, some low lows. I never would have made it through without the mentorship of 2 more wonderful professors and the support of my study/friend group. And second, when it came time to select a dissertation topic, I found myself writing about Social Security. And seriously, I have now spent more than 25 years doing research on retirement and disability policy, something I honestly could have never anticipated when Amy and I were handed that debate topic so many years ago. So after graduate school, I was hired as an assistant professor here at Wellesley, which was then and continues to be my dream job. I love teaching students the economic way of thinking and showing them how this set of tools is so useful for answering the questions that they are passionate about. I feel truly blessed to get to know my students in the classroom and form relationships with them that go beyond the semester and even beyond graduation. I see students who are so much like the person that I was in college, full of potential, but unsure of their direction, and sometimes in need of a confidence boost. And it's so rewarding to see students find their footing here, to discover an academic discipline they're passionate about, to take steps to prepare themselves for a career or life beyond Wellesley, and to succeed on that chosen path, or sometimes swerve from it, take a left turn, 2 steps back, and end up somewhere unexpected but totally satisfying. And I know that I speak for the Wellesley faculty and staff when I say that it's truly a privilege for us to be part of your journey. And, if I may be so bold, I think you are lucky to be learning from the Wellesley College faculty. I have to say that. But it's true. Our faculty take your academic, intellectual, and career ambitions incredibly seriously and are deeply committed to your learning. We set the bar high, you seniors know that, right, in our classes, but we do that out of great respect for your abilities, and we provide all the support that you need to meet those high standards. And Wellesley College faculty are also incredible scholars who are pushing the frontier of knowledge forward with their own scholarship or creative work, and then bringing those insights back into the classroom, the lab, the studio, and the office hour conversation. So let me wind up my meandering tale by articulating a few lessons that I hope you may take away from it. The first lesson, this is just as much for you seniors as for the red class. It is okay not to have a plan. It really is. My advice, especially for the first years with respect to courses, is to take a wide variety of courses and pursue new experiences and pursue things that interest you and challenge you and expose you to new things and just see what you're enjoying. You'll be feeding your intellectual curiosity and you'll be building the habits of mind that you need to be a lifelong learner. And your path will reveal itself to you one step at a time. I often tell my students that when you're 40, you'll be able to look back and kind of see that the path made sense given your skills and interests. But very few of us at age 18 or age 21 can predict what we'll be doing at 40. And that's okay, that's part of the fun. My story is about becoming an economics professor because that path was right for me. Your path will almost certainly be different because each one of us is a unique and beautiful human being. Here's my second lesson. You can expect to encounter challenges along your path. And as I think my story showed, it's pretty normal to have some moments of insecurity and self-doubt in your times of challenge. The important thing is not to let that undermine your fundamental confidence that you belong here and you can do this. Our wonderful admissions team, led by Dean Peaches Valdez, selected each of you, I'm speaking especially the red class, because they knew that you could be successful here and take full advantage of what Wellesley has to offer. And my third lesson, Wellesley is a place that can help you find your path and your confidence. The secret ingredients are your intelligence and drive, the friendship and unwavering support you will find among your classmates, and the deep commitment of our faculty, staff, and student leaders to your learning and to your success. So the last thing I want to leave you with is this. Wellesley is fully invested in making the world a better place for everybody. Young people today face an environment that is unfortunately not all that different from what I experienced 30 years ago. In the 2023 documentary Girl Talk, female high school debaters report judges telling them that they're too aggressive or need to change their clothing. That sounds a bit familiar. Women today make up only 1/3 of economics PhD students, which is not much different from the average when I was in graduate school. That's the world as it is, not the world as it should be. And as an institution committed specifically to women's education and to making the world better for women and for people of every gender identity, Wellesley is part of the solution. Wellesley has a long history of producing change makers, and I welcome you to the club. So, I wish you all well in your year ahead, whether you're just starting your Wellesley journey or starting your senior year and already beginning to look beyond Wellesley. And if you are able to come back for next year's speech, I just might be able to tell you what a provost does. Thank you. And I am now pleased to invite Mia Cadena, class of 2025, and Wellesley College Student Government President.
Thank you, Provost Coile. Hello, students, esteemed faculty, and staff. My name is Mia Cadena, and I am honored to be serving as this year's College Government President. Welcome, everyone, to a new year on this beautiful campus we are so privileged to call home. A special welcome to the Green Class of 2025. Oh, how time flies. Yes, our undergrad is coming to a close, but we still have an exciting year ahead of us, and I feel eternally grateful to be on this journey with all of you. So let's reminisce for a bit. Arriving at Wellesley, I had 4 suitcases packed to the brim with clothes that continue to be the bane of my existence each time that I have to pack. But suitcases were not the only thing that I carried with me into Tower my first year. I carried an equally packed list of uncertainties. Of course, at the time, I didn't have the level of self-awareness that I have now, or think that I have now, to really be honest with myself about how much I was scared. Scared to be coming to college so far from home and meeting so many new people. But through the panic, I took a step back, and I realized that for the long list of uncertainties, that there were things that I knew for certain, and I just needed to remind myself of them. My name is Mia Cadena, and I'm from El Paso, Texas. I'm a sister to Isabella and Arabella, a daughter to Michelle Vasquez and Jesus Eduardo Cadena, and a granddaughter to Norma and Demetrio Vasquez. I share this because I quickly learned in coming to Wellesley that to share their names, to share their stories is to know me, and that the certainty of knowing where I came from, but more importantly, the people I come from, would ground me in everything I do and continue to do. So I want all of us to take a moment right now and reflect on what those certainties are for all of us. Because when coming to college, you may feel the urge to be party to the petty politics of an elite institution and the urge to perform in particular ways. You can lose yourself in it all and your certainties and start believing that what others think of you is who you actually are. We all made it to Wellesley because of our uniqueness and what that can bring to the Wellesley community and the world. You come to college to discover your individuality. However, this is often conflated with individualism. We are told to achieve, you first and foremost have to prioritize yourself. And if stepping on others in the process, well, that's just how it is. That mindset is not only selfish, but its focus on self-reliance makes us weaker. We can have our individuality, but understand what it means to prioritize a collective. Creating strong communities, looking to others for support when needed, and giving to others is how we will truly achieve. Prioritizing a collective requires a generosity of spirit that you feel within and act on. This is something that has been instilled in me by my family and something that I strive to bring to this community. And over the last few years, there have been moments where this generosity has been tested, where I felt it start to chip away piece by piece. And thankfully, this didn't last long because the Wellesley community returned in kind those pieces of generosity that I thought I had lost. I ran for college government, and the love and unwavering support I received from all of you helped me realize that generosity is not something that we can lose. And similarly, things are changing on campus, physically changing in front of our eyes. And well, you can put a fresh coat of paint on the walls and switch out our cranky radiators, but the love and memories have seeped in and can't be washed away. Wellesley students define what it means to be a part of this campus. That is a certainty. And here's one more certainty to add to our list as a community this year. Wellesley, despite what some believe, has a culture of care. Wellesley students care for one another and love so deeply. And this care extends outside our community, so much so that we are willing to tell the world about what is happening. And we do this through our conversations and through our academics and through protest. So over this year, when you are having those moments where uncertainties seem to be overwhelming, be reminded of your personal certainties, but also of the ones that exist on this campus together. Thank you. And now welcome our spectacular Chief Justice, Noelle Davis.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Noelle Davis, and I'm a proud member of the class of 2025. It's an honor to speak to you today as your Chief Justice. Today, I want to talk about the value of respect. Respect for oneself, respect for our fellow Wellesley Sibs, and respect for the wider community. Respect is a multifaceted virtue, one that extends far beyond simply voicing our thoughts. It begins with an inner dialogue, a moment of pause before we speak, where we ask ourselves, why am I sharing this? Am I mindful of how my words affect others? Respect does not mean agreeing with everyone or avoiding challenging conversations. Instead, it calls us to engage openly and thoughtfully, recognizing the inherent dignity of every person we encounter, and understanding that our words have the power to uplift or to wound. I encourage each of you to ponder deeply what respect means in your own life, and to let that understanding guide you throughout your time at Wellesley and beyond. In the spirit of reflection, it's important to remember that the values of honesty, integrity, and respect are more than just words. They are the foundation of our community and what makes Wellesley unique. In these values, we find empathy and kindness, qualities that guide us in our daily interactions and decisions. This year, I hope we can collectively redefine what the Honor Code means to us. Respect isn't something we practice in isolation. Rather, it's something we cultivate together. Let's make this year about genuinely listening to each other, learning from one another, and fostering a community where every voice is heard and valued. We should embrace these values not merely because of the Honor Code, but because it's the right choice, and because it's how we build an inclusive and supportive community for everyone. I invite you to join me in the ceremonial recitation of the Honor Code, which you can find in your digital or physical programs. It reads, "As a Wellesley College student, I will act with honesty, integrity, and respect. In making this commitment, I am accountable to the community and dedicate myself to a life of honor." Thank you. Now, please stand for America the Beautiful, penned by Wellesley's own Catherine Lee Bates, followed by the benediction. Shay Gardner, class of 2025, will lead us in singing.
Hello, I invite everyone to join me with the lyrics in their programs. Oh, beautiful for heroes proved in liberating strife, who more their self, their country loved, and mercy more than life. America, America, may God thy gold refine, till all success be nobleness, and every gain divine. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesties above a fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with siblinghood from sea to shining sea. Thank you.
Dear community, as we live into this academic year, may we pause and make time for connection and true friendship. May we collectively make choices that unite us and make our community stronger. May we take the opportunity to offer mutual encouragement, peace, and joy with those around us. I invite us to release fear and embrace hope, and to choose to live each day rooted in kindness and gratitude. Amen.
The Wellesley College Alumni Association welcomes everyone to Stay for Step Singing, Wellesley's second oldest and one of its most beloved traditions. Faculty and staff staying for step singing should gather at the rear of the amphitheater. Students should remain in their seats. If you are not staying for step singing, this concludes our convocation ceremony. Faculty, Please follow the Convocation marshals and let us begin the recession.